The next thing I'd like to ask you about is healthcare. You've talked about tell me if I'm wrong with the statement, single payer plan.
Well, not single payer. Well, first of all health plans are single payer. They're paid for by the American people, whether you pay through the tax dollars, whether you subsidize the insurance companies, what we're doing right now, or the pharmaceutical, it's single payer. Americans pay for it, one way or the other. And we're not getting value for what we're paying for. The plan that I have is different than all the other plans, and I'll tell you why. Because they're making a mistake. All these other plans, the problem is just going to get worse. And I'll just say, what they insist on, this is the Massachusetts plan, this is the California plan, and this is what the other presidential candidates are saying. We're going to mandate that businesses will guarantee that they've got to give health care to their employees, okay? And then plus, you got to go out there and buy an insurance policy. Well, this is not automobile insurance, this is health insurance, much different. And so to go ahead and force people to buy insurance is to continue to subsidize these predator practices that we're suffering under today. And then secondly, why do we have to saddle a business with health care? It was an accident of history that businesses got involved in this. When a business has to carry the cost of health care and they compete with other nations where it's carried by the central government, that means that our products are not competitive, and that means people lose jobs in this country, and to do more of that is just stupid. And so what we ought to do is get business out of the way. And the plan I have is simple. We have vouchers that every single citizen will get, and they're all equal in the services. And the plans that these vouchers will entail will be no more than 5 or 6 plans. And the insurance companies will have nothing to say as to what the voucher covers. That's going to be set in stone. What the insurance companies will do is they'll compete over who can do the paper trail cheaper. And if they don't do a good job, we can always include the government as an alternative. And now this is going to be risk adjusted. And so we know that a young person doesn't need the health care amount of dollars that an elderly person would need. But everybody gets the same thing. They sign up for it. There's no cost. It will be paid for by an element of the fair tax, which means a retail sales tax. That's what will pay for it. And under my plan, it will be the American people, through the national initiative that I was just talking about, that will determine what the value of that plan will be. Initially, probably $8,000 to $10,000 per plan. But I had a health problem 3 years ago that cost over $150,000. And when I was 21, 22, I had no health problems. I didn't even spend $1,000. That's what I mean when I'm talking about risk adjusted. But everybody will be treated equally. And then, if you want more than what the basic plan covers, you go pay more. It's a free country. You go pay more. But everybody's going to be covered. And politicians that are telling you got to raise taxes to do this, this is a canard. 30% of the money is wasted right now on paper for health care. I had a doctor recently tell me that he's paying $70,000 a year insurance, and he doesn't even do operations. Now, that's ridiculous. We should put a cap on that. We have a cap on it when you get in an airplane accident. Why can't we put a cap on? Well, of course, the trial lawyers are against that. Just look at where the money's going from the pharmaceutical industry and the trial lawyers, and you'll be able to see what's going to happen in the future with these health care plans. We don't need to raise taxes. We just need to control the cost. And this same doctor pointed out to me, he says, Mike, he says, if you turned around and required by law that the pharmaceutical industry has to sell drugs in this country at the same price that they sell them worldwide, that in itself would raise $150 billion, and that would cover everybody that's not covered. So there's just a lot of ways to approach this, but the problem is 2 ways. We don't cover everybody, and 2, costs are on a runaway. And just saying that you're going to let the insurance companies continue what they're doing, and what the pharmaceuticals are doing, and what the attorneys are doing, I got to tell you, it does not solve the problem. It just raises more taxes to fuel the cost of these runaway costs.
So I have 2 questions about the health care plan, and this is about how your experience as a patient would actually change when you're talking to a doctor. Because I think a lot of people would agree that there's a problem with the healthcare system in America today, but what they're afraid of is that something is going to change for them when they go to see their doctor. And I think what doctors are afraid of is that something's going to change for them when somebody's unhappy with them.
I got to tell you, what is going to change is that you're going to be free to go to whatever doctor you want, whatever hospital you want under this plan. You got a voucher. You can do what you want with your voucher. Okay? That's the first thing. Now, with respect to the doctors, I go to get my medicines from the VA, being a veteran. And what happens? I go in there and I give them my last 4 digits, my Social Security. Up on a computer comes my entire medical history. We need to do that for every single American, so that when you go to one doctor in one town, he could type in your code, up comes your whole record, and he knows everything. And if he treats you, gives you a prescription, he's got to enter into the system, write what he does, so the next time you go to somebody else in another part of the country, it's there. Now, this will cost some money to get it in, but the minute you get it in, think of how efficient. Next time you go to a doctor's office, look at all the paper that they have to deal with. No wonder the costs are going out of sight. Look at all the paper. We can get off of that. At the VA, that doesn't happen anymore. And what we do at the VA can be done to every single American. And that's the beginning to get the handle on cost and to get you better treatment. So when you go to the hospital, it's all there. Whatever the hospital does has to go into the computer. That nurse walks into your hospital room and gives you a pill. That goes into the computer system that a doctor any place in the country that you're visiting can call that up and see what's going on.